Hi, welcome back to the Woodshop Nerdery. I'm Tom. In this video, I'm going to update my sharpening system from Waterstones to Diamond Stones. I bought these Waterstones at Woodcraft at least 15 years ago. They're still in great shape and they work just fine, but the issue has always been anytime I want to do sharpening, I have to get out some sort of a container and soak these. It's a little bit of a hassle. And so what happens is I don't end up doing sharpening as much as I should. Also, years ago, I bought this sharpening guide and I quit using it and just tried to do everything by hand. For one, the blades and chisels never really fit in here quite right. And for two, I found out that actually using it would cause my Waterstones to go out of flat. The Diamond Stone situation will fix that. I'll be able to use this on the Diamond Stone without ruining its flatness. And there are also videos online now showing you how to repair some of the deficiencies of these sharpeners. I'll go ahead and do that off camera. Okay, so it's time to set the Waterstones aside. I no longer need the flattening stone either. And I'll open up my order from the Best Sharpening Stone Company. Instructions are included here, also included on the back of each box. So I'll read these and turn the video back on when I'm ready to go. So this is an UltraSharp 300 grit diamond stone. That's a pretty thick plate. Looks like a pretty nice piece of steel here. I've gone ahead and read those instructions. It calls or suggests the use of crud cutter. So I'm going to go ahead and follow the instructions and lubricate this with crud cutter. To break in the stone, it specifically says not to try to flatten the back of a chisel. What it suggests is spend 5 minutes going over the whole stone with your largest, dullest knife. Okay, well, I don't have a large, dull knife, but I have this old chisel that I'm going to go ahead and use. And I'm going to go ahead and keep a timer going for 5 minutes. So I'm in the last few seconds of the 5-minute break-in time for this 1200 grit stone. I actually bought these stones back in August, but I was so busy doing woodworking projects, didn't have time to get into setting them up. Okay, there we go. So here you can see the puddles of diamond fragments which have broken off the stone. But what's happening is those diamond fragments are breaking loose, then being pushed all over the surface, putting these big grooves. But the good news is, now that the stones are broken in, we won't have to worry about scratches like that anymore. You may have seen some woodworking channels which take a board like this and affix the stones to the board sort of semi-permanently, and then you would just be able to quickly come in and sharpen off of each stone. But I'm going to hold off on doing that for now because of this type of cutter. It's one of these 3-blade cutters, and it's high-speed steel, and they work great if you keep them sharp. I think there'd be a problem with sharpening these with my stones if I fix them to this board. Let me take you in and show you. So if I have my stones on a board like this, and I need to sharpen the inside face here, that board is going to interfere. I won't be able to reach the flat of that stone. In order to get on that flat, there's quite an overhang below. So for that reason, I think I'll stick with this and just swap out each stone as I go. It's a little bit less convenient, but it will give me the flexibility to sharpen these. I did go ahead and tune up my honing guide here There's quite a few videos on YouTube that show you how to do that. I'll put a link in the description below of the one I used, which is my favorite and makes the most sense to me. Putting the last few strokes on the micro bevel on the 1200 stone, and I'm noticing that it's not as mirror polished as my Waterstones, which is to be expected. This is a 1200 grit stone. My highest Waterstone is 4000. So I'm not getting that satisfying polish, but it does look sharp, and it looks very consistent now that this is tuned up. I never had good results with this, but now that I followed those tuning up suggestions, this is actually getting to be, I mean, it almost looks like it was ground by a robot. It's that consistent. So looks like this is going to work. You know what? I don't quite have a burr yet. Now I'm aware of the ruler trick. To be honest, this doesn't take me that long, so I'm not that concerned with it. But it is losing some of that mirror finish that the Waterstones put on there. So anyone switching from high grit Waterstones to this three-step diamond stone technique will need to be aware that you're not going to get that mirror polish that you're used to. But that doesn't mean it won't cut. General impressions is I really like the diamond plated stones. However, I'm not getting the same level of polish that I got from my Waterstones. It does seem to change the way the plane behaves. The plane used to kind of slide through that wood a little bit easier, but honestly, the results are the same. There's really no difference in the surface I was getting with the 1200 grit polished blade versus the 4000 grit Waterstone. Well, that does it for this video. Okay, brain fart moment. I just got done saying that the diamond stones don't leave the same polish as the Waterstones, and that's reasonable because of the higher grit level I have on one of those Waterstones. And I also said that that felt like it changed the way the plane moved through the wood, but not necessarily the results. Well, I completely forgot that in addition to those diamond stones, I had bought a stropping kit. So let me go ahead and strop this blade and test it out again. Okay, so last few strokes here on the strop. Okay, let's see how that edge does. Okay, this is moving through the wood much better now. Okay, well, I'm glad I remembered that stropping kit. Everything seems to be working great with that sharpening system. I do think it'll take me time to get used to it. That's why when people ask what's the best method to do something in woodworking, sometimes the answer is the method you're most familiar with, because there is a learning curve, as I demonstrated in this video, when you reach out for new techniques. Okay, that does it for this woodshop nerdery video. I hope to see you next time.